Sup peeps, Crypto Enigma here, welcome back to the channel baby, yeah!
Hey boogie oogie bang bang, let's go body body boom boom. Hey boogie oogie bang bang, let's go body body boom boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another special video. For you see, today I have actually decided to redo the very first sweep that I did for this channel, being my Hawlucha sweep. So in light of how garbage that old video was, today I hope to better demonstrate Hawlucha's overwhelming power by beating up V6 legendaries here. Let's get it. So this time around, sweeping with Hawlucha certainly isn't as easy as it was on Sword and Shield. In fact, you may recall that Dynamaxing allowed you to increase your stats with each move, which ended up getting Hawlucha banned. Obviously, I had to go with a different strategy this time, so I planned on outwitting my opponent. Now my opponent opens up with Toxic Spikes, and you can see here that Eternatus is a little faster than my Rabambi. In fact, all of my opponent's Pokemon are on the faster side, so in light of that, I lead with Rabambi here in order to set the sticky webs at the beginning of the battle. And Rabambi takes a Sludge Bomb directly to the face, but she endures it just like Goku would, and she returns the favor with a powerful Pounce. As you may know, Pounce decreases your opponent's speed stat by 1 stage, so this will actually ensure that I move first in the next turn. As expected, Rabambi is now faster, and she manages to execute one last Pounce before finally succumbing to another Sludge Bomb. And with that, my Rabambi bows out after another great performance. Thank you, Rabambi. Next, I'm going in with my boy Annihilate, and you can see here that my boy immediately gets poisoned, but that's fine because I only intend to use Stealth Rocks, and I know that Annihilate is faster here, so I set up the Stealth Rocks, and my opponent responds with a Dynamax Cannon. And I did give Annihilate a Focus Sash here, but you can see that he didn't even need it because my boy easily ate that attack, and he's still hungry. What's up? Now at this point, Annihilate is free to bow out, but since I do have a free turn here, I figured I'd use Bulldoze to make my opponent even slower, which is actually ideal for my incoming Pokemon. And with that, my Annihilate bravely withstands another Dynamax Cannon before finally getting bored and deciding to leave. Now, so far everything is going according to plan. I was able to set up the Stealth Rocks and the webs, so the stage is set for the sweep to work, and now it is time for me to begin my offensive. But first, I figured I'd call out my boy Great Tusk here and use a quick rapid spin in order to remove the Toxic Spikes from the field. And with that done, my opponent uses another Dynamax Cannon, lands a crit, and one-shots my boy Great Tusk, which is in fact the best case scenario here, believe it or not, as I no longer needed Great Tusk. So one-shotting him not only speeds things up, but it actually also provided me an opportunity to safely switch into my next Pokemon. Now so far, all I've done is set up my entry hazards and removed my opponent's Toxic Spike. So now it's actually time for me to begin my offensive, and to that end, I sent out my boy Muck. Now, I've already decreased my opponent's speed stat by 3 stages, and I knew Muck was moving here first, so I used Mud Slap to test whether my opponent was staying in the battle or withdrawing. And you can see here that he decided to stay in, and he actually uses Toxic Spikes again, which is perfect because this provides me with a free turn, and I take that opportunity to trap him in battle with a mean look. My opponent uses Recover and regains most of his health, so he must be feeling pretty confident right now. But this is perfect because it not only provides me with another free turn to use Mud Slap, but it also helps to stall out the battle, which is actually what I intended to do with Muck, as I basically wanted to use Mud Slap as many times as possible. So now I'm just gonna spam Mud Slap until my opponent knocks me out. He uses another Dynamax Cannon, and my Muck actually took that like a champ. You can see here that he survived the hit while holding the leftovers. So I return the favor with another mud slap. At this point, I've decreased my opponent's accuracy by 3 stages, and he still manages to land one final Dynamax cannon and finally ends up knocking out my Muck, which again is all according to plan, baby. So at this point, my opponent has knocked out 4 of my Pokemon, he's nearly at full health, and his last 2 turns ignored the negative changes to his accuracy, so I figured he would probably stay in battle since he must be feeling pretty confident right now. Therefore, I decided to use Ninetales next here, as her moveset had the potential to take advantage of my opponent's misplaced confidence. So she lands on the Toxic Spikes, and sure enough, my opponent did decide to stay in battle, which allowed me to troll him with this Memento here, harshly decreasing his attack stats, and my Ninetales bows out, laughing it up, baby. Let's get it. And now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the star of the evening. Now, up to this point, I have harshly decreased my opponent's attack stats, I've decreased his speed stat 3 times, and I've also decreased his accuracy 3 times as well. I did this in an attempt to make it extremely difficult for my opponent to remain in battle, which will essentially either force my opponent to withdraw, or hopefully will render them completely useless in battle. But now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your boy making his return. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the very same Hawlucha that I used for my very first sweep, and he has returned for another spectacular performance. Now, in order to pull this sweep off, I'm going to need at least 2 sword dances.
That's a thick-ass boy!
You can see that I'm immediately faster than my opponent, so the first sword dance is guaranteed. But my opponent happens to land another sludge bomb, even while his accuracy is decreased, and it does impressive damage. Now, the fact that he used sludge bomb let me know that he could no longer use the move Dynamax Cannon, so I had that going for me. However, Eternatus' ability was preventing my Hawlucha here from eating his berry, so I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling a little bit nervous here because my opponent kept getting lucky. However, you can see that my sword dance gave my opponent some pause and forced them to carefully contemplate their next move. As you can see, my opponent did not want to risk remaining in battle with Eternatus, so they withdraw and switch into Ice Horse. I forgot his name, which was exactly what I hoped would happen because that gave me the opportunity to safely use my second sword dance. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my Hawlucha to go on the offense. Easy peasy, baby, no more Ice Horse. Next up, my opponent summons Arceus here, but ain't nobody scared, baby. My Hawlucha is too jacked right now, baby. Peep this, another close combat.
My dick fell off!
Thanks for playing, Arceus. And my opponent sends out Cresselia next, who is actually pretty tanky as hell, so I just went with Brave Bird here because it's my strongest attack.
Hey, you better shut your mouth before I beat your ass.
You feeling froggy? Then leap.
And I got the crit on that one. But you can also see that I took pretty heavy recoil damage, so that sucks. However, my Hawlucha is now able to eat his citrus berry, as you can see, which not only regains a little bit of his health, but also activates his ability Unburden. Next up is Zacian here, and this time around I actually gave Hawlucha Dig for his third attack, which I initially gave him to cover his electric weakness, but as you can see here, Dig also works pretty well against steel types.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Gotcha, bitch.
I hated it here!
And look who comes crawling back, begging for mercy. Eternatus, y'all already know my boy is super weak to ground type attacks, so
Say hello to my little friend!
You little bitch ass motherfucker. These nuts.
and last but not least, you can see here Arceus has returned for round 2, but he gets mollywopped a second time. Let's get it, baby. And that was that, ladies and gentlemen, the Hawlucha sweep. I am so glad I was able to redo this video and, do some real justice to my shiny Hawlucha here. So thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely appreciate you, and I cannot stress that enough. But for what it's worth, thank you from the bottom of my heart for making it to the end of this video. And if you happen to enjoy this video, you may enjoy some of my other content as well. So do feel free to check that out if you so wish to. But with all that being said, again, thank you for watching, and I love you, baby.